What's up, guys? How you doing? So I think coffee is very good for you. I think nicotine, me personally, I love nicotine. I'll probably be on my deathbed and I'll be like, baby, put a snooze in my mouth. Um, I enjoy drinking alcohol. I like wine. I like whiskey. What else do I like? I like cigars. I like tobacco. Um, Smoking, I like cigarettes, but I don't smoke. I don't buy packs of cigarettes. Sometimes when we have a meetup, a high through most meetup, we'll get a couple packs and we'll sit around a fire and we'll smoke a couple cigs. For some reason, people think like we're going to meetups and we're meditating and we're singing Kumbaya. That is not the case. We're fighting each other. We're drinking. We're going out. We're having fun. We're making memories. You don't need any of that stuff to have fun, of course, but we like to do that stuff. And the thing is, I don't feel bad about it at all. And a lot of these things I'm never going to give up. I think a gigantic trap a lot of guys fall into is they think that they need to get rid of all of their vices, bad habits. I know people that are built like bags of milk that will say, oh man, the char on a steak cooked on the grill is like, I don't know, I just gotta lay off the red meat. It's like, I'm not gonna lay off the red meat. Now, you gotta understand that when you're living a life that you feel motivated, you feel is purpose driven. You know, you wake up in the morning, I got purpose. I'm glad I'm alive today. I'm not stuck in some weird limbo, just kind of floating. No, I feel like my life has meaning. Everything I do serves me. Like the nicotine I use, by the way, the guys at my wedding, some of my close friends from the High Thumos group, they got me this little tin. These are not for sale. This is a one-on-one, by the way, to hold the nicotine pouches. And by the way, I don't recommend that you use nicotine pouches. If you're a young man, I don't recommend it, no. But I started using nicotine when I was probably 19, and I've been using it for the last decade, over a decade. So, and every time I use nicotine, I'm not like thinking, oh, I need to quit this. Never. I like it. Every time I have coffee, every time I smoke a cigar, I'm like, I don't feel any there's no cognitive dissonance. You know how you have the smoker, he's like, I just gotta quit these. You know, there's this cognitive dissonance. He knows it. No, dude. And that's the thing is why are we in constant battle with ourselves to be perfect? Why do we not do things that we like and live in such a way where we're fulfilled, that everything we do sort of fulfilling destiny? A lot of people look at these things as like it's holding them back. I'm telling you, these are not the things that are holding you back. Maybe say you're one horny motherfucker, you know, you just you goon until noon every day. That horniness is not a negative thing. It's actually very good to be horny. A lot of people are not horny. A lot of people are depressed. Some people can't even get a boner. If you're horny, good. You're probably healthy and youthful. But maybe you feel like it's sidetracked your life. Like maybe you feel like that's all you just can't stop watching the prawn. You can't stop having this look in your eye whenever a female passes you by. Dude, embrace it. Embrace it. It's good to be horny. Be horny in a way, incorporate that somehow into your life. Go, if you're a young man, go work at a bar, go work at a pool bar, a beach bar, where there's girls walking around in bikinis. And then, start talking to the old dudes that have the money, that are walking up to the bar, and you're leaning up on that bar, you're just talking to the girls. Dude, for some reason, old dudes have an affinity for younger men with zest. And I don't mean a sexual affinity. I mean just they like to be around that youthful energy. And some of these rich guys are terrible with women. So you're at this bar and you're chilling there, and these old guys come up to you, you start talking to them, and you tell them what they need to hear. Hey, man, you know, man, I'm telling you, next thing you know, you're on a freaking golf course with the millionaire. You're on someone's freaking yacht. You know, you're hanging out, smoking cigars with the Don. You know what I'm saying? Like, so incorporate the horniness. How do I get this through your head? By the way, this channel is not for the average Joe. Okay? The average Joe has... His wife says, don't do this. And he stops doing it. The average Joe reads a study on menshealth.com or whatever, whatever fucking thing he sees, some Instagram, and he immediately second guesses himself. He immediately thinks that his intuition and his desires and his liking is somehow needs to change. Oh, one day coffee is good for you. One day it's bad for you. Fuck it. I'm going to still drink coffee. This is not for the average Joe. And it also not for the black pillars. And it, you know, I've noticed there's this tendency to come across black pillars in the comments. Guys that are just gone, you know, gone. You can't consume a bunch of junk and then hear one positive message and think it's going to change you. You can't eat a diet of complete garbage and then eat one healthy salad and think your whole body's going to be rejuvenated. That's not how it works. These are for the go-getters. These are for the people and the men of Thumos. Titans, okay? That's who I'm speaking to. Men who are maybe, you know, in the trenches, down in the dumps, and just want to feel like they're talking with someone else that's been there, that's still motivated, that has the Thumos. So that's what the message is for. And I'm telling you, you young bucks, you conquistadors of the spirit, don't be sidetracked by thinking you're flawed because you have some strong tastes. Don't think that you're less because you're one horny bastard. Because you have some vices that the ordinary man would say, hey, you got to get rid of those. You don't. You have to incorporate them into your life. You have to find a way in your life to accept who you are and to have your life set up in a way where you're just pushing it, where none of this stuff affects you. Everything serves you. For me, there's no downside for me for using nicotine. There's no downside. Now, if I was ripping, chain smoking, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this is catching up to me, I don't like how it's making me feel, I would stop it because everything I do serves me. Everything that makes me feel stronger, that makes me feel more focused, the caffeine I have in the morning, the coffee I have, and I enjoy that warm cup of coffee when the sun's hitting me, that is nothing but good. I see it and I say to myself, this is good. When I get a little tipsy, I'm drunk, but I'm not drunketh. There's a big difference. I don't black out. I don't lose myself. I'm still in control. I'm drunk without being drunketh. Those are always good times. Those are always enjoyable. Those are always giving me new stories. Those are always lending themselves to making the night even more. A little bit more, a little more zest, a little more fire. All right? And there's a big difference. I've noticed that the guys that are super against vice, that are the good boys, that are trying to be perfect, those are the guys that are deep down, I really think deep down, they are unhappy. I think they're searching and they're not finding because they're searching in the wrong places. They're trying to go too much within without having lived on the outside. That's what it is. I've also seen this. There's a strong propensity for men that haven't really lived and taken any risk or had to deal with any trials and tribulations that life has thrown at them. They have this desire to be stoic. The Ryan Holiday books about being stoic have blown up. Ego is the enemy. The obstacle is the way. Sort of reducing the works of Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor, by the way. his notes, his diary, distilling the mindset that he had to come to deal with being an emperor. Then the common man took over the Stoic idea and applied this philosophy for the sort of comfy existence, or the plebeians really back in the day were using Stoicism. But for your average individual, why do you have a need to be stoic when you stub your toe on your vacuum cleaner? When the girl you're talking to doesn't text you back? What kind of living is this that demands stoicism? It doesn't demand it at all. It's a comfy existence that doesn't demand it. The stoicism, the philosophy is there for the king that has lost himself. The emperor, when his empire is in ashes. It's there for the man who's been beat up and knocked down from living. There's a quote it's from Miyamoto Musashi. And everyone likes to say it. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And I get what he's saying. He's like, you should be calm. Okay, it's better to be calm in battle than whatever. But I never looked at it like that. I would rather be a gardener in a war. Put me in the war, dude. Put me in, coach. Put me in. I want to fight. I want to fight. I crave. I want to chew glass. I want to take up the spear, man. I want to breathe in the smoke of the burning buildings. I'd rather be a gardener in a war faced with a purpose in front of me. I have to rise to battle because I have to. I'm called to war. There's no men at arms. I must fight for my wife and my children. I must leave and I must go fight in this war. That's a purpose. That's something there. Even if you're unequipped with the tools necessary, you don't have the experience of a warrior. You have purpose right in front of you. You're blessed, baby. You know who gets depressed? The warrior stuck in a garden, pulling up daisies, trimming flowers, trimming his little bonsai tree. And he's just sitting there freaking going schizo mode, because he's built for war. He's built for something else. How many of us are like that? How many of us are like this, dude? We're sitting here, we're warriors in gardens. We're meant for something bigger. We have this desire to go out to make our mark on the world, and here we are sitting worried about no fab streak. If we have perfect six packs, if we have the perfect diet, if we got 8 hours of sleep, let's check our watch. Let's make sure we had a good night's sleep last night. Oh, didn't have a good night's sleep last night. Can't do shit. Dude, what? Bro, all this bullshit, man. Like, any bullshit that you're going through, if you're self-imposing it, take a good hearty look at yourself and say, F all this. And then go and light up a cigar and smoke on it. Seriously. Do it. You owe it to yourself to go out and buy. If I was a young man, this is seriously what I would do. This is seriously. This is not self-advice. This is not advice. I'm telling you my personal experience. None of this is advice for you to do. But here's what I would do. Is I would go and buy a pack of American Spirits. And I would put on my boots, I would put on my black pair of jeans and a well-fitted shirt. You don't got to get too dressed up. And, something simple that kind of looks good on your body. And I would go down to maybe downtown, I don't know, someplace popping. And I would just light a cigarette, I would walk on the street. Maybe I would get a drink or two. I'd have some drinks, and I'd take an Uber down there. And I'd be about 2 drinks deep. Because once you're 2-3 drinks deep, you're not drunk, right? But you're kind of light. You're light on your feet. You start yapping a bit more. So I would do that, and then I would just maybe start. Hey, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Maybe look a girl in the eyes. Then I would pop in. I would pop in somewhere. Just poof. Here I am. Just pop in, out of nowhere. Poof. There he is. He appears like a genie in the wild. There he is. Poof. I pop in. And I'm in there, and maybe I'm mingling with the locals. Maybe I'm making eye contact with a girl. If I fill it out, I'm scoping out the place. If I like it, good. If not, boom, I'm out. Freaking. Maybe I throw in a snooze. Maybe I light up another ciggy. Whatever. We're not doing this all the time either. I'm painting a picture, okay? I'm walking downtown. I'm breathing it in. The light air, I got a little buzz going. Everything's a little bit brighter. There's laughter. There's music from over here. There's a taco truck. Fuck the tacos, okay? You know, we're going to get some, we're going to go eat somewhere else. And, you know, you're starting to build. You're starting to build life. Life is starting to accumulate. You're starting to tread, you know, you're starting to walk, and there's smoke coming out from your pants. And then maybe I pop in somewhere, and maybe I meet a girl, maybe I talk, maybe she introduced me to a friend. Who knows where the night goes? But I would be there. I would position myself for opportunity to arise. That's what I would do. I would be there. I would be somewhere where life could happen to me. That's why I said the whole story about working at the bar, by the pool, or the beach. That's a real story, by the way. Someone in our group has recently got that position. I'm so happy for him. I just had that same conversation with him. Very happy, because I know this man has all the charisma. He has all the power, all the looks, all the personal abilities to absolutely crush it. He is like Tony Montana in Scarface. He just needs to position himself in order to work a deal. If you stay at home, if you stay trapped in your prison cell, stuck, self-improving, God, I hate that word now. If you stay stuck, dude, nothing happens. You must position yourself for life to happen to you. Now, sometimes it beats the shit out of you. Sometimes it takes a doo-doo on your head. Great, let it. There's going to be stories that come out of that. And also, there's going to be a lesson to be learned in the freaking, when the doo-doo is wiped from your eyes. When you realize, when you wipe the doo-doo from your eyes and you see again, you look up and life takes another doo-doo on your head. You realize the deep fact that life is in fact a conveyor belt, and it drops deuces on you, which makes you immune to the poo-poo, and it makes you stoic. So, but eventually, between these, there's moments of blue skies, and there's moments of eureka, and just admiration, and so much pure energy that you just absorb, just absorb it all. But it makes it's amazing. You know, it's amazing. So back to what I'm saying about vices. Maybe you need a bit of vices. Maybe you need a vice. Maybe you need to put yourself out there. Maybe you need to learn to have some vices, to live. You know, what's that great quote by Jack London? I'll paraphrase it because I haven't said it for a while. What do you say? I'd rather be ashes than dust. I would rather that my spark should burn out in a brilliant blaze than rot. That's what he said. I would rather burn out in a glow, like go out like a freaking shooting star, just magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet. Think about a sleepy permanent planet. The function of a man is to live, not to exist. I shall not waste my days trying to prolong them. I shall use my time. There's nothing more gay. I can't stand seeing that one guy that's trying to live forever. That guy, something's up with that guy. Wasn't he? He was like measuring his son's boners to make sure that, like, so he could compare. I don't know. God bless him. I'm not hating. I'm hating on the mindset. I'm not hating on the man. I'm hating on the mindset that is getting in and broadcasted so loudly. Because it's making a bunch of hypochondriacs. I think more than ever, there's never been more of a feminine spirit sort of moving throughout the land. A sort of Kali Yuga spirit infecting all the men. Like guys, like seriously, deep-seated shame is one of the things that you should get rid of for, like don't experience shame. I had this idea once. I remember I had got drunk. And, this was tough because I grew up in a very religious household. And I got pretty drunk. And I had, maybe I made a bit of a fool out of myself. And I woke up the next day, and you know how you drink, sometimes you get that kind of anxiety. And I was thinking, did I hurt anyone? The answer was no. Did I hurt anyone physically or even mentally? Like I don't want to cause mental turmoil to someone, And the answer was no on both accounts. And so I said, well, why do I care if I embarrass myself a little bit? What's the big deal? Really, what is the big deal? And so after that moment, I was like, okay, well, I don't feel bad anymore. It's that simple. I was thinking, man, like, what is the point of shame? I remember one time I was young, I got caught watching some prawn. I was sleeping over at my friend's house, and his mom caught us, and we were both looking at the monitor. We were on the hub, and she was like, what was that? And I'm like, oh, nothing, just some spam, nothing for you to worry about, miss. Keep it moving. Oh my God, deep inside I was freaking cowering in fear. Later, because we're complete dumbasses, we didn't delete our search history. So later she goes and looks at what we were looking at. Unbeknownst to her, we were looking at some nasty threesomes. And my parents called word of this. They sat me down. I'm young. I'm in my teens. And they were like, son. My dad was like, son, I'm disappointed. What were you looking at? It was none of that hardcore stuff, was it? I was like, no, Dad, no, just some titties, nothing big, nothing crazy. He was like, okay, just, stay away from that. But my mom, I remember my mom, oh God, Mom, please. Mom makes you feel big shame, big. So there has to be this part of your life where you say, F it. F what my mom thinks. F what my parents think. F what everyone thinks. And I'm done living in shame. I'm done living people telling me what to do. F it. There has to be a moment in your life where you scoop your nuts and say, I'm a damn man. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to figure out things and do what I want. If I live in a Muslim household or super Christian and I want to take a girl on a date, damn it, so be it. I'm going to do it. And you know what? I might go on a vacation with her and I might leave the house and my parents may be mad at me and I might not get my inheritance, but damn it, so be it. I'm a freaking man. And you got to stop asking questions. You got to stop looking for answers on YouTube videos or in groups or in forums, because all of that just makes you autistic. Seriously, there has to be a moment where you say, I'm going to go have some fun, baby. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to live. And you figure that shit out. And that's when you get all the lessons that you ever need in life. When you try and you fail, when you get punished for making bad decisions, that's how you learn. It's not through theory. It's not through more books. It's through none of that bullshit, man. Stop feeling shame and go out there and live, okay? That's all it is. That's all it is. So maybe, in fact, you do need a bit of vice in your life. Maybe you need to stop being a goody two-shoes and your life lacks any stories and you don't have a personality. I've noticed these health freaks, their humor is like so bad. Like they can't take a joke. Online, people can't even take a joke. People don't even know how to joke. People think that any little roughhousing, a little verbose rubbing of the knuckles, some punches to the liver, they are defeated from that. They run and hide. They instantly leave. Oh, they were making fun of. No, dude. Sometimes you need someone to call out your own bullshit because you've been too much time stuck online being a bitch. That's just how it is. I mean, that's what the High Thumos Brotherhood is. And a lot of people can't handle it. They just can't handle it. I don't know what they're expecting. Some meditation. This ain't no weekend retreat. This is not some weekend retreat. This isn't some course. Fuck. So let's get it, baby. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Enjoy your life. Hook up that barbecue this summer. All right? Make yourself a nice steak. Have yourself a little cigar if you'd like. If you like, have a drink or two if you're of age. A good little cab wine. Invite a girl over. Come over to my place, baby. I'm cooking dinner. Daddy's here. And he's cooking up something. Get a board game out. Crack open that cab. That's my favorite date. Crack open the cab. Pour a little wine. Get a board game. Cook some dinner together. Just whoop. Man, that's the best kind of date. All right, man. That's it. Hi, Dumos. See you soon. Peace.